Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and today I think we have an exciting one. We're going to be talking about two games. One game that of course we are very familiar with on this channel, Honkai Star Rail. And this video is really not meant for like spurring any drama or anything. I don't want to say like Honkai Star Rail is better or Wuthering Waves is better. Instead of like all that drama talk, I want to bring it to the attention to you. What exactly do you get out of value of these two games? I think that's more important, and which one is more suitable for you. I will be exploring many different things. If you guys realize on the channel, I hardly do comparison of new games to like existing games unless the game is worth talking about in the first place, which I think Wuthering Waves is. I really enjoy the game a lot. I played like a couple of betas in other games. I'm not going to like name any names, but out of all of them, probably Wuthering Waves is one of my favorite right now that I'm excited for it to be released. And I think a lot of content creators also think the same. Definitely very strong game to be coming out in version who knows, 2024, 2025. I personally think it's going to be out in 2024, maybe in time for summer. Another reason why I want to do this in a live stream format, I think it's more authentic when you guys input like comments as well. You guys can see on the side there, the live chat that is going on. If you want to like put in any comments, you guys are listening to this as well, just feel free to ask me questions. I want to try to make this as authentic as I can, rather than like a scripted narration of a video and then I upload it later. I think there's like more authenticity to having things live. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining in. We have quite a lot of viewers today. I guess people are interested in... I'll just say as much as I can from a Honkai Star Rail perspective. But by no means, again, like I mentioned, am I trying to say one game is better than the other? It's just for us that it's easier to understand, so we can understand both of them too. Now, as we are rolling in, people are still gathering in. I want to tell you about the first like major thing that I think is like super interesting about Wuthering Waves compared to Honkai Star Rail, which we noticed like in our previous live stream already, any of you who are on. That is the memory of chaos system that they work with, so-called. We haven't gone all the way deep in, so we can only tell based on certain things that I think Honkai Star Rail could learn from, rather than like saying that one is better than the other. I think there's one thing that the developers could learn in Honkai Star Rail. Hoyoverse maybe wants to take a thing or two. The first thing is vigor cost over here. Let me just give you, for any of you who are watching this for the first time, I'll just give you a Honkai Star Rail explanation to everything, so it's very easy for us to understand. If you are entering the memory of chaos here in the different stages, so this is like floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor 4, every single time you go in, your energy, your characters will expend a certain amount of energy, which means like you can't use Jingliu for 10 floors, for example. You can only use Jingliu for maybe 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, and then she gets too tired. She doesn't really contribute at the end of that. Then you have to like switch your Jingliu out, swap her out, put in Acheron, your Imbibitor Lunae and stuff like that, which I think is a very good system. In the earlier floors here, as we can see in Wuthering Waves, is not shown yet that you actually have vigor cost that will deplete into the negative. You can actually still play in the lower difficulty one, the same character for all 4. But I suspect how it's going to go in the new, like in the memory of chaos equivalent, these hard stages, you can see that it's like quite deep in. They might have very high amount of vigor cost to encourage players to build multiple characters, to build more than just like one team, because this is similar to like Genshin Impact, where in a sense you can just have like one main DPS on the field and like your other characters are like super crummy build, dog shit gear, but maybe they give some kind of like supportive healing ability. So in that sense, I would say that is the difference between Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves. I personally think that this new method of doing Memory of Chaos is very good. I hope Honkai Star Rail adapts it, where you have characters that get tired after a while. Some of the videos, if you guys saw the video that we put out on our channel today already, you're already saying that it's too easy, Memory of Chaos is so chicken feed, you can defeat everything with the same characters. But that is honestly because you have very stacked characters like built on like one side. Whereas if you, for example, are forced, let's say this is your main character, you geared your Jingliu like 100%. Now your Jingliu is too tired, can't fight. Can your Imbibitor Lunae carry? Or maybe your Imbibitor Lunae is like taking your other half. What happens if these two characters are gone? Do you have another DPS to carry you through the remainder? It requires a bit of more strategizing, which I think is very exciting so far at least, where you have the end game becomes more enticing because you need to build a wider roster depth. So that is, in my opinion, for that. And if any of you who are just like joining in and you missed the start, feel free. This is YouTube, not Twitch, so you can just like scroll the bar, the live bar towards the left, and you can like see a narration, so it becomes more like a timely flow. If you want to ask questions, feel free to do it in the live one, so at least you can see what we are doing, so that it's relevant for a lot of us as well. But yeah, that is the main pro, I think, of Wuthering Waves versus Honkai Star Rail. Not saying one's worse. I think Honkai Star Rail does it very well, also having many game modes. A game like Wuthering Waves probably will not have too many game modes that are new. Honkai Star Rail is a lot easier because you don't have to build a lot of you don't need to care about 3D interaction. It's all a 2D graphic. Wuthering Waves here, you can see, is like an open world kind of concept, very similar to a Genshin Impact style. Pros and cons of that, we'll talk about that in a bit, but let me first go on to your daily commissions, and we'll compare it from there as well, so we can also see like a bit of bunga. On a day-to-day basis, the system works exactly the same. For any Honkai Star Rail player that is joining any other gacha game, this is nothing new. In fact, I'm a bit bored of this daily login system, to be really honest. I hope like someone can innovate out there to make it a bit more interesting. How? I don't know. Talk is cheap, right? It's easy for me to criticize. I don't know how they're going to make this more interesting. But you have certain things, certain milestones that you need to do to get your daily crystals. This crystal here is like your stellar jades and stuff like that, where you're trying to get. It's unfortunately the same boring stuff. You just get your crystal at every certain point, and you have a certain quest to do. Where I think Honkai Star Rail does it a bit better, I think, is that they make the achievements a lot easier to attain. Now I think that you can do one simulated universe run and you straight away are done for the day, or you can do something that doesn't even require too much time. So between the two of them, I think that Wuthering Waves is going to take out much more time on a daily. So if you are a person that works very long hours, you are studying for an exam, you could get away with playing Honkai Star Rail auto battle while, for example, like in between your studying sessions or something. But this game, you probably won't auto battle anything. Everything has to be like own self kind of moving. So that is one of the key downsides. This is really an active game, but doesn't mean it's bad. I'll talk about that in a bit. So we have one question from Hamizan. How fast will you usually complete your daily quest in Wuthering Waves as compared to Honkai Star Rail? Honkai Star Rail is honestly very hard to beat. I think Honkai Star Rail is like super quick. You can get it done in like, I think I get it done like less than 30 minutes nowadays. If I do a simulated universe run, probably it's even faster, and I can just like AFK, alternate tab and stuff like that, play another game. So I think this game is slightly longer. In my opinion, it's 30 to 45 minutes of active gameplay, so it's not even passive. So I'm showing you. Now I'm just like clearing my dailies, and we can see exactly how long it takes. And as we clear stuff, I will explain the differences between the two games specifically. So blah blah blah. I'm just like running through. Do any of you actually like read this like story? Maybe it's just me, but I just don't care about like these daily commission stories. So that is 40% done, and then we just like bunga some stuff, and I think we are good. Clicking the wrong stuff. So as you can see, it's like pretty similar in terms of the dailies. So some gems here. Defeat an enemy. Let's fight this guy. So this is like a daily boss kind of thing. So we're just going to do a bit of bunga. And this is like the first real difference of, I think, Honkai Star Rail versus Zenless Zone Zero. I mean, Wuthering Waves. Zenless Zone Zero. My gosh. Getting confused with all these games. Okay, where is that boss? Is the combat. If you ever played like Honkai Star Rail and you wish that you could take a more active front row seat of controlling characters, you maybe want a bit more bunga kind of style, this is a game that is very interesting. I think the art style is quite similar. You can see that the character design, I would say like Genshin Impact, like for example Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves art style is definitely a bit more similar to Honkai Star Rail than Genshin is to Honkai Star Rail. If I could use like a poor way of phrasing, I think Genshin Impact is more meant to target a wider group range of audience. Like you can have young children playing Genshin Impact to even adults and stuff like that. Whereas Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves is clearly meant to target slightly older audiences. Like, so if you prefer one style over the other, I think if you like Honkai Star Rail design, Wuthering Wave design doesn't feel too far away as well. At least that's my own like male brain that's thinking out loud here. So that is one of the differences. So Honkai Star Rail combat, not as fun. A lot of the battling for Honkai Star Rail actually comes from before the stuff begins. Whereas in Wuthering Ways, the combat is active, which means that you actually get to engage in combat like this. Now, as I'm fighting, you must forgive my brain. I can't multitask for nuts. So let me just try to give a good showcase of that's fair enough. So much more active in gameplay. Animations are like quite similar in terms of like the outs and whatnot. So he's about to die, I can speak soon. My focus is all on the boss. Okay, so that's like kind of a boss fight. I know I didn't do much narration, but the fun thing about this game, and that's the first difference, if you notice, the boss actually has this shadow that appears. This is the interesting thing that's different about Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Ways, is the echo system. So I'm just going to click absorb. You can see here that this crownless, whatever that is now appearing. So this is very similar to like Honkai Star Rail 2. You gain the ascension materials for this world boss by spending some energy. Pretty much the same, but where the innovation comes, and I think is not a pro where I think that Honkai Star Rail should adopt it, but I think it's fun because it's very different from other stuff that I've seen so far in at least Hoyoverse games. What this ecosystem is, let me just scroll over here. Shit, I'm absolutely lost. Okay, so this ecosystem here, if you notice, these are relics, okay? Relics, the equivalent in like Honkai Star Rail. So you gear them. For example, here you can see that I'm now using this 5-piece ice set bonus for these guys here, for this lady here, Sanhua. And as I fight monsters in the overworld, I actually get to collect like, I don't want to use the word souls, but it's like, think of it like they're souls where you collect it and you capture, like Pokemon. You defeat them, you have a chance of capturing them. They come in different rarities, and if you notice, this was the crownless that we just got. We absorbed him, and this is like your relic. So nice crit damage. Unfortunately, it's a 3 stars, so it's not very, very strong. They come in different sorts of sizes, so if I keep fighting this boss, I could get one that is healing bonus for the day that, for example, I have this Havoc elemental damage type healer. Might be useful, and so on and so forth. So that's the difference between like the relic farming in Honkai Star Rail and relic farming in Wuthering Ways so far that we see. This is the difference. You need to go out and actively farm for your relics, which if you are a person that likes exploration, you want a reason to go out there and like fight stuff, this is a pretty good reason. Also does mean that it favors people that have a bit more time and luck compared to people that do not. For now, I don't see a way to like pay to win. So a question by Shonen is asking how free to play friendly it is. Right now, as of time of recording, we don't really know, or the time of the beta test, we don't really know what is the rewards that you actually truly get, because everything is subjected to change. They just put it out here. I can't like whale or anything in this because it's just a beta, but this is the battle pass, which is exactly the same like Honkai Star Rail. I don't feel a need so far to wish that I needed money or spend money in any way. Maybe it's because it's all about pooling the system, and like maybe since you're asking a question, I want you guys to like drive the conversation as well. So we step aside from like the whole relic system first. We'll revisit that later. Let's talk a bit about the gacha system, how much to spend, what is the odds of getting like a character and stuff like that. The spending is exactly the same. The ratios are exactly the same in Wuthering Ways and Honkai Star Rail. If I'm not wrong, the numbers here are exactly the same, these whale packs also. And you have all your conversions where you can swap out for your, like, this is like your monthly exchange kind of thing, where you swap out for your things. I'm supposed to be having like a refresh on the pools, but apparently I'm not getting them. The 1-to-1 is like 160, which is exactly the same to get your limited pools. The difference between Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Ways is that there's a difference between your limited character pools and your limited weapon pools. So if you see here, I switch for 4 of this radiant weapon character. The weapon Radiant, like this Forging Tide thingy, is a separate one. So they use different pools for different weapon banner and character banner. Unlike, like, I wish they just like standardize, because what's the point of like making so many different ones unless they are planning to like give some for free to like cap the other one, but who knows. So that is one of the differences. The pool system is pretty much exactly the same as we know in Honkai Star Rail, with one exception. But let me just show you some like of this pool animation of blue. I'm never going to get anything better than blue. Of course, it's always like subjected to change. There is no auto or sweep in Wuthering Waves. Not that I know of yet. They might include it maybe later on in the very, very high level and end game kind of stuff. Or perhaps they also could add it in before the game goes live. I think, but how likely do I think that would happen? I don't think that this is a game that is meant to be played on auto battle or like passive. So like versus Honkai Star Rail. Honkai Star Rail is like meant to be like a casual side game you can play. You can play actively when it's peak season, but when it's not peak season, we are all very clear. It's going to be like a side game. You can finish it in 30 minutes. The rest of the time is like spent bashing people up on Reddit. I'm just joking, please don't do that. And stuff like that. But this game here, very clear, they are making it seem that we want to be your main game. We want to be your active game. You're going to play us a lot. You're going to farm your relics. You're going to like go around focusing on building as many characters as you can in a very open world kind of concept. So that is like the difference between the two games so far. So weapon pool, again, they are using like different currency here, which is the key difference. I hope they get rid of that. I think it makes no sense at all. But the biggest difference out of all of them, there's PT. For those of you who are like wondering, is EOD gonna answer the obvious question? Is there PT? Yes, there's PT. You get it every 80. Does it carry over? It does carry over as well. So very important questions that we need to answer. The most cool thing about Wuthering Waves versus Honkai Star Rail and even Genshin Impact is you are guaranteed the damn limited weapon. Like, there is no 50-50, there's no 75-25. If you get the weapon, you are guaranteed to be the limited weapon, which is very, very good. I think it makes like tons of sense, and maybe that's why they split up the limited pools for the weapon versus the character, because if you give off the free event character pools, the weapon is still like kind of exclusive, and 80 is like you can guarantee anything, so there's a spending cap to know how much you spend. I think this is a very, very good quality of life. Means that people who actually want to like play their favorite character, now at least you know 80 you're guaranteed your favorite character's weapons. So hopefully Honkai Star Rail, if you are one day listening to this, please put it in your game also. I don't think the weapon needs to have a 50-50, because how hard is it honestly to design one damn weapon? Like light cones don't even appear in the battle. And it's like pure profit for the company. So at least just not be so stingy and like at least guarantee the weapon. Characters, I don't mind. You push us to 50-50, whatever. You still need to make a living. I can agree with that. So for Wuthering Waves, exactly the same. There's no difference in the PT system here. You go to 80, you win your 50-50, lose your 50-50. So everything else is pretty much the same thing for the pool system. You can select the different weapons too, right? Currently, we only see one on the current weapon banner here, so you are guaranteed to get this Verdant Summit Sword. On the standard banner here, I do think that you can select. So this is the standard banner pools. Is there a fifth? I don't know whether standard banner is different. Let me just read this. That I didn't prepare beforehand. I didn't like read in depth. Let me just see real quick. Base drop, you are guaranteed to obtain 1 5-star at 80 seconds. Let me see. Wherever you... Okay, they don't say... Okay, here, right, it's right here. You can select one of the 5-star weapons for every rate up. Each time a 5-star weapon is guaranteed. Okay, so yeah, you can choose what weapon you want in the standard banner. So if let's say you had a lot of sword characters, now you want sword, you can just like select this to get a sword. If let's say your favorite character is using a gun, I can just like switch over to a gun. You're guaranteed to get this. This is massive. Imagine you're looking for Bronya's Light Cone. Couldn't get Bronya's Light Cone. You roll like don't know how many times, you still can't get it. At least there's a way to like guarantee the stuff that you want here. I think that's a huge win. I like this style of... it's a very huge quality of life feature, especially since standard pools are, I would say, hard and not hard to come by. It takes a lot of time, and you don't want to get useless shit along the way. Yeah, getting 2 of the same damn guns is quite frustrating. Like for me, I got 2 Himiko Light Cones back to back. That's like kind of shitty. How long do I need to finish my dailies? I was interrupted halfway from that. Now let's get back to the dailies. So it was about 5 to 10 minutes so far, I think, and we are already more or less done. I think more or less done. I mean, cause we got lucky and got an echo. So if we didn't get an echo, we have to go and try to find another one. So right now we are just left with the last one. So it's quite fast, as you see. We just did that daily commission, which is like 40. We killed the boss. We got his echo. We are basically at 90 now. The last one is quite simple. I am just going to like synthesize something, because this is like the easiest thing to do. Have I gotten the limited character? Nope. My luck never allows me to get limited characters in betas. I always have to supplement my luck with money. Unfortunately, that's how it is. But yeah. And yeah, if you guys are finding it helpful, just give this video a like so I know also. Leave a comment also if you guys want any more information. Sometimes I don't really know like what questions to answer, because it's a brand new game. Just trying my best to answer as many as I can. You can't swipe in betas, so unfortunately no. So this is like the same thing. I'm just like synthesizing so that I can complete the daily mission, so I can get the maximum amount of rewards. Let me just convert it. So that sums up like the daily like the one that you want, the dailies that give you this premium currency. It took roughly around less than 20 minutes, I think, 15 minutes of active gameplay. So it's not easier than like Honkai Star Rail, because I can't be doing other things. I can't be like playing another game. I'm actually like at my keyboard actively doing something. So if you're studying or something, you just want auto battle, probably it's going to be a bit tiring. So let me talk about another thing now, is the relic system that I was mentioning halfway. So this relic system is very, very cool, because you guys might think on first glance it sounds like a pain. You have to go and hunt monsters. You have to wait until you get not only the right set bonus, the monster that gives you the set bonus. So every monster has a certain faction, which is basically giving you these main stats. So this ice guy will always give you this ice set. He won't like change. The thing that changes is the main stat here. So you can be farming this damn insect bug thing for many, many times, and you'll never get a crit damage main stat. So you just like keep farming for the thing, and it might take a long time. Not only that, if you notice that there are different colors also, so sometimes you can get a really nice crit damage purple, which is like a 4-star, or straight away you can get like a, I'm just trying to like show my 5, where's my 5 stars? Gosh. Okay, so like you can get a 5 stars here with like fusion damage bonus on a ice set. So like this is like quantum damage bonus on a ice set, which makes no sense, right? So I think that is something that is going to be very, very frustrating. To get more of these relics, it's not as if you can just like auto battle inside. You have to actually actively go out and farm. So that is a huge difference too. It does require about more time. Let me show you what relic farming is like, because that is probably going to be the end game for a lot of people farming for battle gear. So let's say I wanted to look for ice damage bonus now. I'm trying to level up my characters. I want to be stronger. Give me some relic bonuses. So what I'm going to do is into this, I think is this tactical hologram here. We'll get into this tuner thing once I show you what farming looks like. My memory is like super bad. I'm trying to like figure out where is the farming. Just bear with me for a little bit. So okay, these are like the tacit fields that I'm looking for. I am going to look for this ice damage bonus. So you can see here the type that they are giving. This is like the relic stuff. I'm just looking for this ice pattern because it's the easiest to recognize. There are so many others, but for my simple brain, let's just use this. What relic farming looks like. Honkai Star Rail, of course, is more passive. You can do it. I can even do it right now in the background while I'm doing this. But this game, you don't get that. You have to do it actively. So let me just mark this. For any of you who have played open world games like Breath of the Wild, Genshin Impact, Tower of Fantasy kind of games, this is going to feel a lot more similar. If you have never played those games before, then this is going to be very, very refreshing, of course, versus like a turn-based game. You need a lot more time. You need a lot more energy. And the best thing about this is it's free. So you don't have to pay any money at all if you want to, of course, unless you want to. But you can drop in anytime you want. You can log off anytime you want, which I think is a huge win to all the people who are spending money for this game supporting our entertainment. Now, how the heck do I get here? So these are one of the struggles of these kind of open world games, is finding the goddamn place. So if you like exploration, it's probably up your avenue. For me, I'm atrocious at it. When is Wuthering Wave going to be available on Play Store. Currently it's in beta. There hasn't been any official information like whether it's going to be out anytime soon. Okay, let me just escape this. Sorry, boss. I am not looking for you. I'm just trying to see whether there's a way out. Okay, nope, there is no way out. Looks like I'm not farming my ice relics then. So let's find a different one. I have no idea where that domain is. What a poor showcase of relic farming. So let's say now I change my mind because I feel like I'm going to farm fire instead. Let's look for fire then. Fire is this red one, I was supposed. So now I'm going to go into this field, which was supposed to be the demonstration previously, but let's adapt to it. I think that this game is going to be released either in late half of 2024, but at least by earliest is summer. It feels like a more or less complete game, but latest it could be anywhere between like 2025. But I do think that they will release quite close to Zenless Zone Zero. They are both competitors, so it depends on when one is coming out. I think that is my speculation, but there's no official news or whatsoever. So now we got to this point. The fire domain is like so much easier to farm. You notice like those flying things up here, like these random stuff, they are basically monsters. Very similar to Genshin Impacts, like the ley lines and stuff. It's all active, so you can't. This is not auto battle. I can't just like AFK, go to the toilet, drink my coffee or something. It's all unga bunga. I mean, the unga bunga is definitely fun because it gets your mind off like a lot of things. Like if you had a very tiring day, sometimes you don't really want to think too much, you just want to like beat stuff up. That is something that I really enjoy. Because like, in Honkai Star Rail, I don't get the feeling of like destroying stuff. Like, you don't get that adrenaline that you get from like beating up stuff. Other than Genshin, I suppose. I'm not too sure whether every encounter is always so long or whether it's just because my skills are like shit. But that's basically a one relic farm. So after I beat it, you can claim using your firepower, your Trailblaze energy, same thing like that. So I'm just gonna claim it real quick. Claim. So then I get these random stuff. So other than this weird cube thing, which I'll explain to you guys what it is, these are called tuners. Don't need to know anything else other than now. You get these guys, like this fire guy that I'm looking for. He is unfortunately HP percentage and gives like resonance, this endless resonance thingy. No, this wasn't fire. I guess this is like a generic attack bonus. I honestly am like quite bad with the recognizing the shapes right now. But anyway, this was the set we are looking for, the red thing with the sword and whatever not. So we farmed it and then we got one purple, one 4-star and one blue star. This is the healing set, so I think that we could farm. It's the same thing, like pretty much farming the sets for each one. Let me just look at that again. Yeah, so this one had both the healing set and this sword and shield, which I thought was fire, but apparently it's not. So they have both of them. Very similar to how like Honkai Star Rail does it. Your domain can have either one. It works in a very similar way. So now, the difference between relic system also is in the upgrading your relics. So let me just go over to a brand new character that has a slot open. Let's say we just got this guy. We got this snip step which we just farm. I'm going to go ahead and equip it. So now as you can see, now I have like a 2-piece set bonus is active because this person already had another one. The upgrading is also where it's different. Now I want you to notice very, very quickly. For any of you who are just like having this in the background, look at this. When I press this auto select button and level up, in Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, my substats appear automatically. So you can see here the preview is 3.4 to 8.8 and the other HP main stat is like 228 to 592. Once I upgrade this, you will notice that now there's these two things that are appearing here. Consonant attribute slot. Your substats are not open automatically. You have to open them instead of them unlocking manually. Is this a good thing or bad thing? My first instinct is this is a really, really not nice feeling to be forced to like spend these materials to unlock your substats. Why can't they just be auto? But after that, I started to understand why. But let me just show you what it looks like first. So you see, I use 1 to unlock 1 substat. I use 2 and unlocks like 2 substats. So let me just unlock this real quick. It's again random. You can get HP. Apparently, it can be the same as your main stat also. So that's a cool thing. It can be anything. But here we got resonance, liberation, which is like out damage. HP is like HP. So that is the thing that is different. What is the bad about this is you obviously are capped off with the amount of good gear that you can get. If you don't have these like tuners that I showed you, you need the purple tuners to level up the purple guys. You need the gold tuners to unlock the substats of the gold guys. Then you will ask yourself, this is a terrible system, isn't it? Like, what is the benefit anyone can get out of this kind of system? And here's the answer. If you were a person that has no time at all, and you only came into the game once a day and just farm, you will have the same amount of possibly tuners versus like other people in the game. So I have tuners, you have tuners, you farm the whole entire map every single day. The advantage that you have is your main stat is more correct than mine. At the end of the day, we are both capped off like by the same resource, which is the tuners. So in a sense, it balances the game out for people who are super, super hardcore and active, and also people who are just like slightly casual, hopping in the game now and then. You can still get like decent amount of gear, because farming, like going around and like smacking stuff, also can get you these echoes. And the only difference between like these echoes for a person that's super active is getting the right main stat and the right set, which is an eventual thing that if you do it enough, you'll probably get the main stat correct. The whole substat grinding is a whole different situation, which is gated behind the tuner things. So good or bad, I don't know. I'll leave it to you. That is my analysis of the difference and the reasons why I think they did it that way. Is Sanhua free? I think she is. At least in the beta, she was like, I think, given for free if I complete like certain milestones. Official launch, let me just think back. Honkai Star Rail, when they did it, the free characters that they gave in the beta did indeed come out free in official launch. But the developers are different. We don't know whether the style is changing, because for all you know, the characters that are given free now is just to test whether they are viable. They want more people to test them out. But chances are, if the character now is like free, I think the chances of them being actually free is like quite high. She's a fun character. But this is not I'm not doing a character showcase and whatnot. We have like other live videos where we went more into that. This is specifically like, if you're a Honkai Star Rail player, will you enjoy this game? Let's talk about the next thing real quick. So that is the relic system difference, how to upgrade relics. We talked a bit about that. We talked about the how are we going to, for example, let's say we're doing pulls, what is the pity, does it carry over, the dailies, how long does it take, energies and stuff like that, and Memory of Chaos, we also talked a bit about that as well. Leveling system here, exactly the same. Not much difference, at least. Exactly the same as in the concept is like more or less the same. You need to farm for your essential materials, which can be found from bosses. Instead of like auto-battling it in Honkai Star Rail, here you fight it bunga. You collect like certain stuff that is found in the overworld. Very similar to Honkai Star Rail, where you also collect these kind of stuff. And these other materials is pretty much the same thing. Gacha games follow more or less a very similar template. Where I think, now that we have gotten all the systems out of the way, let me explain to you what I think the pros and cons of these two games are. And let's start off first with like the pros of Wuthering Waves. It's a very, very action-packed game. If you guys like to fight stuff, you like to like beat stuff out, and let me just go to like a weekly boss so that I can explain the pros while fighting something fun. Let me just go over to this book here and fight a boss. I hope my hands don't embarrass me. But if you guys ever feel like maybe you want a more main game, like maybe Honkai Star Rail's droughts are super, super droughty, especially if after Panicani is done, you have nothing else to do. Who knows when this game is going to like be released, but I'm just making a guess. It's probably going to be after Panicani for sure. Then you could consider this game if you want like a main game that to play. Free of charge, don't have to spend any money. I think it's quite fun. But I don't think I'll be playing this game for a massively long time. Honkai Star is a game that I won't get bored of very quickly because it takes up so little and gives you so much enjoyment. This game, I can see myself, if I'm very, very busy, I might not be able to keep up with the game. And games that you can't keep up with, chances are the probability that you will drop it is quite high. Because like once you are no longer like the front runner, first day joiner kind of people, maybe it gets a bit boring quite fast. But whereas Honkai Star takes up so little time that I can do it for a really long time. At least that's for me, like pros and cons. It's really more of an active versus passive game, which one you prefer. Active games tend to be more fun at any point of time. More excitement. But, I realized I play active games for a bit shorter period of time. Personally. So one thing that I really like about this game is its combat. Some combat games are very clunky. This one feels very smooth. So you have like this quick dodge animation. If you notice, like sometimes I got hit. So you see this like the wavelength that my characters sometimes go into, like this, yeah, right there. That is like a quick dodge, a perfect dodge that you can do, which means that there's a skill diff difference. So if you are a person that likes these kind of like skill diff, you want to like beat up content creators like me because I'm absolutely trash. I mean, not literally beat up, but like outskill a content creator. I think it's more feasible for these kind of games. Whereas if you are like fighting a game like Honkai Star, which really is a game about how good your gear is, how much eidolons and stuff, then the differences between pay to win and free to play becomes much more drastic. I think in more skill-oriented games is when free to play players actually shine a lot more because you can skill diff this game. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but that's my thoughts on it. Like for example, if I wasn't like taking any damage at all, I would be playing triple DPS. I need a healer here because I need the sustain to keep my team alive, which definitely affects my DPS. You see, I like got hit 3 times, but if you were like super skilled, you could do either one. You could like dodge all. So that's like a weekly boss kind of thing, which is a harder fight. Not the hardest fight, it's like the Memory of Chaos equivalent is like still a bit harder. But it's quite fun to like beat stuff up. So other than that, other than like Unga Bunga, there's the obvious stuff where you are going to explore the world. Like for example, you need to, similar to Honkai Star in a sense where you can explore different places. Like for example, if I wanted to journey here to open up this teleporter, and let's just show a bit about the whole entire art scene of the world so far. Nice that it's daytime also, so you can like see clearly. NPCs just hanging around, like exploring the world. You get to do it more in like a 3D fashion. In Honkai Star Rail, it's like a 2D kind of dynamic. Sometimes I just wish they added in a jump, but it is what it is. In terms of updates, I think that a 3D game is a lot more difficult to push out updates quicker because there's a lot more things that the tech development team, game developer needs to consider, the physics involved, rather than, for example, a 2D game, which is a lot easier to render, a lot easier to push out updates and create new characters too. That's why Honkai Star Rail has been consistently pushing out 2 new characters every single patch. For 3D games, I think the updates will come a lot slower. Not as easy to do so much rendering. Okay, the good thing about this is also at the top of the hill, so we can see around. Art design is not too bad, it's quite nice, but it's very different from Genshin Impact kind of vibe. Like this is like the Mondstadt kind of look, which is, this is like more of like a dystopian, like troubled world. Mondstadt feels like a bit more peaceful, calm scenery to look at, but still really nice. If you like these kind of exploration games, definitely a huge win. The graphics here, currently, what am I running on? I am running on, I think that's important to know. What am I doing? So this is their full screen. I'm running at, now it's only 60 FPS, for any of you who care about FPS. These are the intervals, 30, 45, 60 in the beta. Shadow quality, there's ultra, there's high. I'm not frying my PC today, so I'm just going on high. And these are the options that they have for any of you people who want like these kind of like stats to look at. And is that it? Languages, what do they have? They have quite a few, but mostly Asian languages for now. I guess they will release, hopefully, future ones for text in the European languages, your other languages as well. But for now, this is what they have. For this is the voiceover. They have also Asian languages for now, but I think most of it is like that for a Chinese developer. Wuthering Waves is of course done by a Punishing Grey Ravens developer, which is I think Kuro Games. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Ooh, pools. So that is how you like get around, open the world. You can do like chest hunting in a very similar fashion to Honkai Star Rail, but this is of course much more overworld experience. Fighting mobs in this game is also slightly different. Let's see whether I can fight this guy. Is he a monster or is he just sleeping? Okay, so this is like a mob. So these are your overworld monsters that you can fight. Instead of entering a turn-based combat, you actually fight it live on stuff that are like lying around. And if you notice in the back, like you see some guys fighting that lion. Like real in the back here, can you follow my cursor? You can see like this like bear that's attacking like a bunch of NPCs or even monsters that you can fight. So that interaction I think is like really cool, where monsters attacking each other. Nice. Okay, let's go rescue that bear. So sometimes you get to summon them, or get the relics, the echoes in this game is called, but sometimes you don't. The odds are quite low. So that bear is like obviously dying. Let's just help turn the battle a bit. Obviously we'll help the bear. So the bear unfortunately died to these guys, so let's just get some revenge for it. So this is like overworld exploring. After we beat this guy, there's this like chest, which gives you like some gems. So a lot of emphasis on exploration, like Genshin Impact kind of style. Got some gear. Got the bear. You're gonna play it when it comes out. For me, I probably will play it on my own. Whether I create content for it really depends on you guys. For me, I like it enough that I will definitely be playing it. But creating content is up to you guys. If you guys like it and you want me to cover it, I'll definitely do it. So like, just leave me a comment whether you guys like it or whether it's like, yeah, maybe not. At least I know how to prioritize the schedule too. Because content creation takes quite a bit of time. Can't cover every game in the world. This game is, I would say, more close and similar to Zenless Zone Zero and Genshin Impact than it is to Honkai Star Rail. But I think that the reason why I talk about Honkai Star Rail in the thumbnail, not only because this channel covers mostly that, but it's because both games are synergetic with each other, which is the biggest difference out of a lot of the gacha games that are available. Most gacha games tend to be competitive because they are both taking up your time, money, and active screen time. But the truth is, Honkai Star Rail is a passive game. I could be like alternate tab right now, farming like my dailies and burning my energy and just alternating tab back every couple of seconds or a while. And I believe this is also on phone. This game is also on mobile. So there's a very huge synergy between the two games. If you are saying that you're bored of Honkai Star Rail because you want something active, this is an option. There are many other games out there that is active. There are more active games out there than good non-active games. So that's the difference and why I think it's synergetic. So a bit of exploration there. Is it exploration heavy like in Genshin Impact, Quest, and etc.? My answer to that is yes. If you, and thanks for bringing out the question, if you are a person that has no time, like you only have maybe 10 minutes a day to like pop in and do stuff, I think it's fun, but most of the enjoyment in this game actually comes from exploring the open world. The map right now is not very huge, but it still takes time to unlock like 100%, 100%, 100%. If you are maybe in between jobs, you're on a very long holiday, you have nothing to do, you're not traveling or anything, or maybe just taking a chill pill, you want time to kill, this is a great damn game for that. You can like binge, explore all you want, and kill a lot of time. If you have a lot of commitments, you're very busy, you're going out and stuff like that, then this game probably would feel a bit of a con, a massive con. And in fact, most games like Genshin Impact probably will feel a similar way. If you quit Genshin Impact because it was too time consuming, not because you didn't like the whole exploration stuff, this game will feel a bit of the same, in my opinion at least, between the two. What is nice about this game versus Genshin Impact is definitely the combat. So similarly, you work on a 3-character system, but in this game, very importantly, and forgive me, like I know the title says like Honkai Star Rail, but maybe if we can draw a comparison with Genshin Impact real quick, and let me just show you a boss. The true difference between the two games, even though both are very similar, is this game is centered around its combat system. Genshin Impact felt like it was centered around its story as well as its the elemental reaction system. This game, on the other hand, is centered really around its combat system of fighting, quick swap and stuff like that, and perfect dodging, which is, I think, much better for a combat game to focus on combat. So if any of you quit Genshin Impact or didn't like Genshin Impact because it had no combat, this is an option for that. I think this is a very strong competitor. I personally played Genshin for the combat, but they started to stray away from that as well, which is like, I don't know. But let me find that boss. Where the heck is that boss? I'm obviously a dummy at exploration. Is it here? Oh yeah, it's here. Down this hole. So quick swap. If you notice, I'm like swapping from my different characters. Maybe it's because they all look the same. That's why it's like a bit difficult to tell. But maybe if I can, let me just switch my team up so that it's becoming obvious like which character I'm using. So I'll play one male, one female, just to make it like obviously different. And the healer, let's use this one. So it's a healer, male, female, small Chow. Easy to tell. So you will now like be very easily to see who is on field and stuff like that. Let me level, because they're like a bit under leveled, let me just level up quick. And this. Okay, I think they should be good to go. Let me just try and fight. So now I want to show you like the quick swapping difference, which is very, very active in this game. So a lot of focus on that, the fighting mechanic. Of course, you can only have one active character on field at any time, but in between the fight, you can rotate between all of them. Some of them, like this guy, also puts down electric field, so there are synergies of like off-field supports, whatnot. I think this is a lot easier to see, right? When the characters look very different from each other. So if you notice that I can switch in these random monsters that I can cast, that's the echo bonus also. So when you select your echoes, you can actually summon them onto the field. Like, I just threw out where the heck that thing went. But joint operation. So I will show you. I'm switching to the ice guy, this one. This is my main echo. So you can cast your echoes. For example, this guy now, he can now summon his echo and fight with it for a while. So it's really like a Pokemon style system. And that is like the difference of this game. It really focuses a lot on the combat. So what I mean by main echo is, if you notice, there is a slot of like 5 here, the main echo is the first one. So he transformed into this like thundering Mephis, which is like the effect of this character. So not only do their main stat matters, their substats and whatever not, their set bonus, they each echo, each relic, so to speak, has a different effect. So this guy is when I use the echo skill, which is the button Q, I transform into this guy, the one that we just killed, and basically like use multiple attacks of certain damage multipliers. So there is a use for the relics also, rather than just being like stats. You can choose a good one for the character. So like the lady that I was playing, the Sanhua, the ice girl, she has this insect thingy that jumps up into the air, smashes, and it freezes the enemy, which I like. I like the bit of control that it gives. So that is the difference too. Your relics have an actual use on field, and here I'm just gonna go ahead and capture the echo. And let me just use my daily energy. So I see a lot of co-op also. That's another thing that's also in this game. If you are tired of Honkai Star Rail's single player, most of the community aspect of Honkai Star Rail really comes from like the Discord, and if you guys want a Discord community, you can join ours, it's in the description below. But most of Honkai Star Rail's co-op and fun is based on the people you talk to. This game actually has co-op once you hit level 30. Here we have 28, so we'll definitely be revisiting for the co-op experience as well. But anyways, I just want to keep this video short. It's not going to be for busy people if this is like over 1 hour. So I just want to keep it like super condensed and concise. And I think that's about it. Between the two games, I showed you a bit of both. What are the pros and cons of each? Who I think is more suitable for which? And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to tell you which is better than the other. You are going to make that decision for yourself. It's your time, it's your effort, it's your money, whatever it is. I'm just here to give you as transparent comparison as I can. That's why I put it in live stream format. And guys, thank you guys so much for watching again. And I'll definitely be doing another one once we hit level 30. We'll do a co-op live stream so I can see what it's like in person. But yeah, if you guys found this helpful, leave it a like, subscribe if you're not already, and see you in the next one.